already are, so if you could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anybody from the public wishes to comment? Going once, twice, gone. Miss Kay, you said you wanted to? Okay, first we have presentations from Ms. Elizabeth Hennessy from Raymond James. She's our consultant.
Thanks so much. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm here to go over three agenda items you'll be considering later on in the meeting. The resolution to issue bonds, the first portion of the successful referendum from November in the amount of $13.5 million to help fund your summer projects. The resolution also authorizes up to $30 million of refunding bonds to help maintain the tax rate on the bonds and the plan that was set forth to the voters in November. And then thirdly, a disclosure policy resolution, which sets forth a policy to maintain your disclosure documents to investors, both in the primary market and the secondary market. I'll go through this brief presentation to give you an update on the bonds. The good news is that the bond market is cooperating and interest rates are coming down. If you remember, kind of bad news for our economy is good news for the bond market and causes investors to buy fixed rate securities. So between the tariffs and the shutdown, as you can see at the end of the schedule, interest rates are coming down. So that's actually a good thing as we move towards our bond sale. Here's the one-year history, and you can see the reduction of rates at the end of the schedule. So the numbers are small, so I apologize to the audience for this, but we can look at this graph. I'll just mention that the original plan that was presented to the voters looked at issuing refunding bonds along with the new money, and the $48.7 million new money. The gray shadow represents the outstanding bond payments. The blue bars represent the bond payments after refunding and the issuance of the $48.7 million, flattening the tax payments for the owner of the $350,000 home. So this is the original plan going back to the fall that was presented to the voters. At this point, we have gone to the bond rating agencies, back to Standard & Poor's, and they have affirmed the district's AA+ bond rating, which is the second highest bond rating, just under the AAA. And you got a really glowing report, which has been distributed to investors. So I want to thank Abe and Dr. Friedman for participating in that call a week or so ago. The updated plan takes advantage of these great rates that we see in the bond market. So this plan versus the original plan is actually $4 million less in interest cost over the life of the bonds than was originally presented to the voters. And the original plan takes the average tax payment for the owner of a $350,000 home from $707, if you remember, down to $528, or a decrease of $179. The updated plan results in a decrease down to $514, or a decrease of $193. So better results, again, due to the market and also due to a little bit of tweaking on the restructuring. The plan shortens up this first issue of $13.5 million by a year, and that ripples through the structure, allowing us to save that $4 million in interest. So right now, here's what we're looking at. The shape is essentially the same, but if you look at the payments, they're down about $20 over the life of the bonds versus what we originally told the voters. So tonight, the parameters bond resolution that you'll be considering later on in your agenda allows us to go forward with the sale of the bonds, which we're planning on Wednesday. The parameters in that resolution are outside parameters, and we're telling you that the pricing is looking like a result very similar to what you're seeing here tonight. The resolution delegates the authority to approve the issue to Mr. Singh and the board president. So we have conference calls set up on Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday morning to do that. Once set, the bond issue will close in early February, where you will then receive the $13.5 million to help pay for this summer's first leg of the referendum-approved projects. You'll also be considering an escrow resolution. That relates to the refunding portion of the bonds. So that sets up an escrow account with Amalgamated Bank, who's going to hold the funds that pay the refunded Series 2002 and 2004 bonds, as well as the 2009 A bonds. We're refunding portions of all three of those. And then last but not least, as I mentioned at the beginning, a disclosure policy will be considered by the board, which sets forth the responsibility for providing complete and unbiased information to investors through the official statement, which is the offering document on the bonds, and then the secondary market disclosure, which is an annual update. Those duties are delegated to your Director of Business and Operations as the spokesman for the board to review all these documents and keep you up to date. The SEC would be interested in this document if they ever come to look at the district's records and whatnot, so that's why we feel, and Bond Counsel Chapman and Cutler feels, that that's an important policy to add to your tools. So at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions on either the debt structure or the three resolutions you'll be looking at tonight.
Anybody?
And Elizabeth, those bonds would be available to anyone in the public?
They are available through our brokerage at Raymond James. So if you get any calls from any individuals, whether it's this issue or bonds that we're going to be issuing in the future, we'll be happy to get them connected with the people to sell them the bonds. They are in 5,000 denominations, and we would love to make them available to individuals in the community.
And we really mean that. We've done that before, where members of the community helped in purchasing good investment, by the way, safe one too.
Yes.
A couple of questions. So you mentioned a $4 million saving in the interest cost, which is
Estimated over the
throughout
life
the life.
of the $48 million.
Okay, so that's $48 million, but we're only selling 13.5 at this point in time. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
the balance of that could be at a higher or a lower rate. Is that correct?
It could be, yep.
Or are we locking in the rate today? So that's
We're
one
locking
question.
in the rate just on the $13.5
Okay.
million in the refunding this week. The other bond issues, like we had in the initial example, include a good cushion of between 50 and 150 basis points to try to take into consideration future interest rate risk. So that full $4 million includes using today's rates plus those cushions, similar to what we did in the fall.
Okay, so since we've, presented to the community that we're going out in phases, we're doing 13.5 now, and then next year we'll do more as we need to phase out our work, that $4 million could go up or down in
Right.
savings based on the interest rate at that time that we get more money.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
No.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
me, and thanks for letting me go first.
The next is 2019-20 summer projects. Abe or Mike?
How about Abe and Mike?
Abe and Mike,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, Mike is available if we have any detailed questions. But I wanted to just provide a broad overview. So what we just reviewed is the EFMP, the first phase of Sullivan Center. So that is separate from our other plans as it relates to the working capital plan. And these are the repair projects separate from the EFMP. It is an ongoing capital project roadmap. It combines the reserve study that was done back in 2007, the physical condition assessment done in 2016, as well as other district identified needs. It is 15 projects for this next phase, totaling $677,000. The funds will come from that non-referendum $1.5 million DSEB bond that we had approved approximately 3 months ago. Now, those funds must be used for capital expenditures, such as what we're proposing here as part of Phase 2 of the working capital plan. The project will again be reviewed in future 2019-2020 budget review meetings. It'll be part of that preliminary budget presentation as well. Are there any detailed questions related to the memo that was forwarded as it relates to these 15 projects?
I had a quick question. The roof at the Tower Road facility, are we not required to go to bid for that? And if not, is there any advantage to going to bid for that versus reaching back out to previous contractors?
We will go out to bid for that project to
Okay.
contractors once the specifications are prepared.
Okay. The memo made it sound like there was already a contractor. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that just an estimate based upon?
For planning purposes, kind of like with the EFMP, we had to estimate something
Right.
just to budget.
I just didn't know if it was based upon contacting a design group that had said this is what it's going to cost, or it's just a square footage estimation.
It's currently based off of square footage. We're looking at a fully adhered EPDM roof, not ballasted. It's currently ballasted. A complete tear down to steel decking,
Right.
and build up to comply with energy efficiency requirements.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the square footage of the roof is about 10,000?
I believe so.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. The next in the discussion items is electronic registration and residency verification. Len?
Good evening. When Mark came and Joe, their first days were spent at our August residency verification
Lucky you.
event.
It was an
And-
eye-opener, let me
and
put it that way.
Since that time, we've been listening to the community surveys and working together with Mark and Joe and our registrars to move our process from paper and events to electronic. We are hoping to.
I think there's some support for the idea.
Got one of our school student secretaries there, and so this has been several years in the making. We are in the final stages of getting it all together to kick it off with our kindergarten nights. So kindergarten nights begin at dual language on January 24th. They're very happy back there. We will be, our plan is we've started working with Leslie on a communication plan to all of our parents as to how this is going to work for the registration process for our new students as well as our kindergarten students, and then when we re-enroll for the coming year and what August will look like. So you'll be getting more details on that. Currently it's with the companies that we're working with to prepare our forms, and we'll roll it out from there. So I think it's going to make it much more parent-friendly, which is one of our main goals. We want to make sure that all of our kids get in and we don't make them stand out in the sun and all of that. So we'll be seeing more information, and if you have any questions, Dr.
And
Friedman?
we do have backup, and our two wonderful trained personnel in the district office will continue to interpret and continue to provide one-to-one assistance to those who need it. But if I could be remembered for one thing in this year, I would like to be remembered for moving us away from the paper model of 3 days long, using everybody's time and a very critical time, to an online system that will have a few little quirks to start out with. We know that. But again, most everyone that we've mentioned it to has responded with applause like we just heard before. It's rather muted, but we can get more if we needed it.
Are you,
Oh, that wasn't the cue.
Lynn, are you planning on having a help desk available for folks?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll make sure that help is available as needed.
You know, call in.
We still have people available, computers available, and that personal touch available
Okay.
to those parents that should need it. But from what we heard from a lot of parents was, I can go to the high school or I can go here, and we do it all online. Can't you get it to work like that?
No
here?
call
So
trees though, right? No push one to Google, push two.
And Chromebooks will be handed out.
we're
First
still
days.
working on those details for the Chromebooks and how all of that will work. So our kindergarten event is really good. Or we're not having an event, but kindergarten will really guide us in being prepared for the fall.
Okay. Sounds like a great idea. Yay.
Okay.
It's a collective idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for the discussion items, and now to the most important couple of events for the evening. I would like. I thought I'd just do that, or do you want me to do it on the action items?
Yeah, we got to go into.
Oh, I thought I'd just do it here.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll go into the action student stuff. Okay. So thank you everybody for coming. We have a great turnout for announcing we'll do the action item later, but we'd like to introduce Dr. Peter Hannigan as our new superintendent. So welcome, and I'd like to welcome.
Remember this.
And I'd like to welcome his family, Sarah, and kids. Thank you for coming. I know it's a bit late, but thank you, Chloe, Jake, and Ben. I know your family is here too, and some of your colleagues. I'd like to especially thank your current board members, Ms. Mary Kay and Mr. Harper, for coming here, and Dr. Duras for letting us steal him. Thank you so much.
We haven't voted on you yet, so don't get too excited. No paycheck yet either. Well, he's prepared. I wasn't sure where you wanted to put it.
We can do it right now.
Okay, you're on.
All right. Yes, you are.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah.
Wherever
No,
you
we talked about this. This is not a surprise. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good evening, President Patel, members of the Board of Education, Hawthorne community, guests. It's an honor and a privilege to be here this evening as you begin to hopefully appoint me as the next superintendent of Hawthorne 73.
Depends on your speech.
It does. I'm very excited to begin transitioning with the entire Hawthorne community as we work collaboratively and continue to provide the best possible education for all of our students. Hawthorne 73 has an outstanding reputation in the field of education, and moving forward, we're going to continue to build on that reputation as we ensure the success of all of our students, regardless of ability. Over the last couple months, we did spend a lot of time together getting to know you and your vision for Hawthorne 73. And I'm extremely grateful to be a part of this next chapter in Hawthorne 73 history. This only happens once in a while, and like you said, there's a lot of people here supporting me, and I wouldn't be here without your support. And just, I'm gonna be here for a little bit because there's a lot of
It's okay.
It's okay, you can take all
It's
your
yours.
time.
But, you know,
Your
to
time.
get started, Dr. Jean Sophie, want to raise your hand really quick? Dr. Jean Sophie, she's currently the superintendent in Lake Bluff. She's also a Vernon Hills resident.
Yeah.
But Jean hired me into District 15, kick-started my administrative career as an assistant principal, and then encouraged me to move on to principal. And then just over the last 13, 14 years, just encouraging me, mentoring me as I navigate my career in administration. Monica Schroeder, she was a teacher with me when I was an assistant principal, probably about 25. But she is currently the deputy superintendent in Highland Park 112. Also with us this evening, we do have two current District 54 board members, Bill Harper and Board President Mary Kay Prusnick. Thank you for all that you've done for not only myself but my family over the last 13 years. I'm extremely grateful. Also, we have Ed Rafferty. Ed, thank you for taking me from District 15 and moving me and getting me on the District 54 bus. You know, your 7 years as superintendent, what you allowed me to do, being a principal in elementary school, moving on to the junior high, have more than prepared me, and what we accomplished, not only myself professionally, but what we did for kids day in and day out is truly amazing. My current cabinet colleagues, Danette, Dr. Goldberg, Aaron Knoll, Nick Myers, Cassie, and Rick, you know, thanks every day. You know, we have a lot of fun together, but at the end of the day, we always put kids first, and we get the job done, so thank you very much. Also, there's some administrative principals here, Jillian, Sagan, and Tom Barbini, in case I'm missing anybody. But, you know, thank you for what you do day in and day out, supporting not only my work, I mean, we have tough jobs, and it's all about that support network that you have. And then personally, my parents, thank you for always being there for me. My mother-in-law, Mary, I'm getting out and get emotional. I was all They're not going to tell you any stories later. But thank you. And then more importantly, my wife, Sarah, you know, thank you for all the sacrifices that you've made for me as I navigated my career, whether I was in grad school, changing jobs. Ed Rafferty moving me to a junior high while she was on bed rest with twins.
It was nothing.
I think that was a dig at it.
It was a little because I do. But I appreciate everything that you've done. Being my best friend, always there for me, supporting me. And then our kids, Ben, Jacob, and Chloe, thanks for always making us proud. You guys are doing great tonight. But thank you. And just to close, you know, again, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and I'm looking forward to growing professionally and personally, long-term here in Hawthorne 73 as we do great things together over the next at least 3 years. But thank you very much.
Hasn't started yet. Yes, you got a little.
And last but not least, no, this is the most, actually, because I had it all. I started getting emotional when I started going down the line. But I do need to recognize Andy DeRoss. You know, 6 years ago, you know, giving me the opportunity to come on to cabinet, you know, making me the assistant superintendent for human resources, filling in your shoes, all those experiences and mentoring you've given me, and not only just being the assistant superintendent for HR, but bringing me on big picture work. Working with the Board of Education on big picture work have more than prepared me to lead this outstanding district, and I can't thank you enough. I'm sorry I missed you because I had you last on purpose. Honestly, I wouldn't be. What Andy has done for me the last 6 years is truly, you know, a gift, and I honestly would not be here today without your support and your friendship. And I told him he's not allowed to lose my number because I'm going to be calling him a lot. But I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you as we start to transition into July 1st and then moving forward. It's going to be great. So thank you.
Thank you.
We have tribute to you, so please hang there for a second, Pete. And Terry, do you have something from the association?
We will do those, you know, we'll do your contract later, but these are
Yeah.
things to welcome the kids into for fitness.
Yay.
You're the big winners tonight, kids.
It's homework.
know if anybody else caught that besides us. That was hysterical.
Terry, ready?
Our PTO.
Yes, I am here for the PTO, and we welcome you guys. There's another little goodie bag.
Thank you
some
very much.
popcorn stuff. But yes, nice to meet you. We look forward to working with you, and we're excited.
Thank you.
This is awesome. And I tell you, having all the support here, it just makes me proud that we were able to get you District 73, because you guys came here, you're losing a good guy, and we're getting him.
Cute.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
And while there's a big crowd, Pete, I know in the back you wouldn't be able to differentiate who's who, but all the District 73 administrators, you want to raise your hand and wave. And I know John Langland came. John is the president of the HEA. There he is back there
He's the
somewhere.
biggest guy in the room normally. He's all the way back.
He's way back there. So he was excited to come tonight, and we have quite a few other people that just like to say hello. So hopefully we'll be able to do that if we can move through our agenda fairly quickly.
Yes, we will. And while we are, before we move on, there's one more person we would like to introduce to our administrative team, and that is our new board member, Mr. George Pivot.
I didn't see George.
Yay.
So he will be with us to fill the vacant seat for the next few months and hopefully longer.
After we vote for you, George, hang in there. Wait.
I'll take your seat yet.
Got to give him the oath first. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole meeting?
I move that we adjourn the committee of the whole.
Go for it.
I second.
Motion by Wes, seconded by Robin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays. A call to order the business meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Jason Tron,
Here.
Victoria Helander Heiser,
Here.
Robin Cleek,
Here.
West Poland here, Matt Jacobs,
Here.
Sonali Patel.
Here. Motion 6 present, 0 absent. Anybody from the public wishes to comment? No? Going once, twice, gone. Now we have just action items. So, approval, the first one is approval
New
Of Doc-
superintendent.
of Dr. Hannigan.
Now it's real.
Do I have a motion?
I move that the Board of Education approve the hiring of the new superintendent, Dr. Peter Hannigan,
With the start
With
date.
the start
with
date
the
of
start date. Is that?
July
July
1st
1, 19.
Oh, sorry.
for a 3-year
The
contract.
start date of July 1st, 2019 for a 3-year contract.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Wes, seconded by Matt. Could I have a roll call, please?
Jason Tron,
Aye.
Victoria Helander Heiser,
Aye.
Robin Cleek,
Aye.
West Poland I, Matt Jacobs,
Aye.
Sonali Patel.
Aye. Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays.
I
Welcome.
was a little worried
You are
there. It's a close vote.
Next action item is approval of student fee increase for 2019-2020 school year. Do I have a motion?
Oopsie. I move to approve the student fee increase for the 2019-2020 school year.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Robin, seconded by Vicky. Any discussion? Okay, could I have a roll call, please?
Sonali Patel,
Aye.
Matt Jacobs,
Aye.
West Poland I, Robin Cleek,
Aye.
Victoria Helander Heiser,
Aye.
Jason Tron.
Aye.
Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays. Next item, action item is the resolution provided for the issue of the 13.5 million bond. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the resolution providing for the issue of not to exceed $13.5 million general obligation school bonds of the district for the purpose of financing the capital projects approved by the referendum, and 30 million general obligation school bonds of the district for the purpose of refunding outstanding bonds, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the execution of a bond purchase agreement with Raymond James and Associates, Inc. in connection with the proposed sale of said bonds.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Motion by Robin, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? Could I have a roll call, please?
Jason Tron.
Aye.
Victoria Heiser.
Aye.
Robin Cleek.
Aye.
West Pole and I. Matt Jacobs.
Aye.
Sonali Patel.
Aye. Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays. Next is resolution authorizing and directing execution of the escrow agreement. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the resolution authorizing and directing the execution of an escrow agreement in connection with the issue of taxable general obligation refunding school bonds, Series 2019A, and general obligation school bonds, Series 2019B of the district.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Robin, seconded by Matt. Any discussion? Could I have a roll call, please?
Sonali Patel.
Aye.
Matt Jacobs.
Aye.
West Pole and I. Robin Cleek.
Aye.
Victoria Heiser.
Aye.
Jason Tron.
Aye.
Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays. The next is the resolution for adopting a disclosure compliance policy. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the resolution adopting a disclosure compliance policy for the district.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Motion by Robin, seconded by Wes. Any discussions? Do I have a roll call, please?
Jason Tron.
Aye.
Victoria Heiser.
Aye.
Robin Cleek.
Aye.
West Pole and I. Matt Jacobs.
Aye.
Sonali Patel.
Aye. Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays. Next is a consent agenda item from board meeting minutes of December 17th. The press issues of 98. We have a donation by Canon Medical for Town Line for the Science Olympiad, the treasurer's report for September 2018, the personnel report. Do I have a motion?
I move that the Board of Education approves the consent agenda items as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Robin, seconded by Matt. Could I have a roll call, please?
Jason Tron.
Aye.
Victoria Heiser.
Aye.
Robin Cleek.
Aye.
West Pole and I. Matt Jacobs.
Aye.
Sonali Patel.
Aye. Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays.
Sonali, for that one, can you just say something about the donation from Canon?
Yes, I was
Just so
going to
it's-
say it in the
okay.
president's
Oh,
report.
I think it's important. We just went right by it.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yes, it is. I wanted to thank Canon Medical for donating $5,000 to Town Line Science Olympiad. So thank you very much for your generous donation. And for all the people who are watching, Town Line is one of our only elementary school that does the Illinois Science Olympiad for elementary schools. They do normally sometime in February, they'll have an in-house competition for all the students, and then they go and compete at state. But for the in-house, it is fun to come and watch. Everybody is welcome. We can volunteer to be judges. You can volunteer to run some of the programs. So please be on a lookout when Dr. Hawk sends out that memo. Yes?
It's January 30th is the competition.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad
So-
we had you here.
So please be on a lookout. But thank you to the Canon Medical for their generous donation. The other thing I wanted to give in the president's report was Mr. Fredrickson had to leave, but Aspen Elementary School just started their food pantry, and they are looking for donations they're doing a food drive and looking for donations for their food pantry. So if anybody would like to donate, you could call Aspen Elementary School and see, or you can go on their website and there's a listed items of that is needed. Elementary North also has a food pantry, so if you do feel you don't want to cross 60, you can drop them off here too. But so the next thing I would like to do is swear in our new board member, George.
Where would you like me?
In front of you.
Anywhere where you can raise your hand. You have the wording?
Oh, there it
Cheat sheet.
is. So, I
I,
see,
George Beavis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board Board of Education
of Hawthorne School District 73
of Hawthorne School District 73
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States,
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the laws of the State of Illinois
and the laws of the State of Illinois
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I further swear that
I further swear that
I shall respect
I shall respect
taxpayer interests
taxpayer interests
by serving as a faithful protector
by serving as a faithful protector
of the school district's assets.
of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect
I shall encourage and respect
the free expression of opinion
the free expression of opinion
by my fellow board members
by my fellow board members
and others
and others
who seek a hearing before the board
who seek a hearing before the board
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize
I shall recognize
that a board member has no legal authority
that a board member has no legal authority
as an individual
as an individual
and that decisions can be made
and that decisions can be made
only by a majority vote
only by a majority vote
at a public board meeting.
at a public board meeting.
And
And
I shall abide by
I shall abide by
majority decisions of the board
majority decisions of the board
while retaining the right to seek changes
while retaining the right to seek changes
in such decisions
in such decisions
through ethical and constructive
through
channels.
ethical and constructive channels.
Welcome aboard.
Pull up a chair.
Have one.
Make yourself comfortable.
Can I get a different chair? Here, take mine.
All ready?
A little bit higher.
Do we have a superintendent's report?
Caught me by surprise just now. This is sort of a festive night, and on both fronts. George, as George knows, I hired his wife many years ago. Don't hold that against me.
I haven't.
Okay. And George's wife actually grew up in my neighborhood, block away. So nice to see you join this great board.
Happy to be here.
And you're going to be a great contributor, and we're going to work to make you very comfortable. And the other part is, I want to just revisit a couple quick things with Pete. And I first met Pete a couple years ago at a baseball game. You remember he introduced himself and said, "Someday I may be looking to become a superintendent." And we're here, and it wasn't that long ago. So you're a great prognosticator. And, and you caught me at a game that I would never be at. I was at a White Sox game, and you were too. People know I'm a Cub fan, so I don't hide my allegiances. I'm willing to live up to it. And during the summer, Pete had asked if he could stop by and chat on the way to work one morning, and it was 98 degrees in the air. And by the way, we're going to fix the air in the office, but that's a gift to you. It wasn't working too well, and we were sitting there sweating it up and chatting about the district. And I could just see the spark in his eye, and I could just see him taking everything in and envisioning himself sitting in that seat. And we're here, and it was about 6 months away. So it just tells you dreams do come true, and reality does happen. So from that little uneventful meeting to tonight, it's quite a jump, and wish you the best of luck. And we'll be here. Joe and I will both be here. Joe will be back tomorrow, and we'll both be here to help you and ensure that there's a smooth transition. And with Andy's approval, I know he's got to allow you to have those days here, but we'll make sure that this works really well to
Shaking his head no.
everyone. I couldn't see what he was saying, okay? Hiding back there. And I didn't see Monica sneak in the back somehow or another. She's done that before when we've done other hiring of mutually known people. So the superintendent's report is just to wish you both the best of luck, and we're here to help. We're here to be with you for the remainder of the year, and to make July 1st, the start of a new year, really work smoothly. Seamlessly is what we're saying. And with online registration, we have a great start. Right, Lynn?
that's it. There are a couple of things that I forgot to mention, so I'm quickly going to mention it. For the kindergarten building, we are presenting our plans to the Planning and Zoning Committee on Wednesday, the 16th, and we'll go out for permits on January 22nd. Since both those dates happened before our next meeting, I wanted to get that out. That's it. Anything else from anybody?
No.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Do you have an announcement, or is that still on to go somewhere? I was asked about it today, and I wasn't sure what you wanted to do.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
You can make that announcement.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Robin, seconded by Vicky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6 ayes, 0 nays. Thank you, everybody,
Record.
for coming, especially our admin team and teachers. It's been a long day, but thank you so much, as well as all of Pete's colleagues, because it's been a long day for you guys too, because everybody's an educator, so. But thank you so much for
Those
coming.
District 73 folks, if you want to run up here real quick.